All right, morning everybody. Welcome to another round of coffee and questions, or if it's late in the day, your favorite beverage and questions. So what will we talk about today? Talk about a product that Harbor Freight has. It's called slime. It's like a tire sealant kind of product. And And before I get into that, I was reading through a lot of the criticisms on this slime. And out at the club, everybody was sitting around, we were discussing, those of us that have used it. And I said, well, I've used it, I'd buy it again. I go, but I also learned along the way there are specific uses for different variations of this slime. So let me show you a chart real quick on the different variations that I'm talking about, because Harbor Freight only sells one variation, or at least my local Harbor Freight does. So let's take a look at the diagram and it'll explain to you the differences in the different variations or the different consistencies and the chemicals that make up their different product lines. So here we go. Okay, so after taking a little quick look at that and a review, you're going to see the one that Harbor Freight sells is good for like small, let's call them punctures into tires. Now I've used the stuff from out at Harbor Freight and I've bought it there, but I've only used it on wheelbarrow tire that I had that had a very slow leak in it, and I used it on one of those hand truck kind of dollies where after 2 or 3 days it just kept going flat over and over, and it worked fine. And I used about, I think, close to 4 ounces in each one of those, but they're a smaller tire. Now the first thing, I'll give you a tip. I look at the valve stem, the whole thing, very closely. If it needs to be replaced, I replace that first, and then I go ahead and I use the product, this slime, and from out at Harbor Freight for what I told you. Now on the golf cart itself, and if you watch my videos, you'll see where I did this charitable kind of restoration project for the kids and people out at the ranch. They use it, and I'll show you a picture here right now so you understand what I mean. Okay, so now on that one I did not use the same product. I used the black label, let's call it. Now if you look at them and you go from like red, which is good, it says for tires that have tubes in them. That's what it's meant for, the red label. And if you look at the blue label, it's meant for tires without tubes. Then the black label is kind of like for both. And then they have a yellow label, for automobiles. I haven't used any of the yellow label. I did use some of the black label on a utility trailer where it had a very kind of like small leak. So in the criticisms, I think, the people that commented on these, like, hey, it didn't work, I had this, they make it sound like a crack or, a bigger hole maybe than that pinhole size, and then they criticize the product for not working. I don't know which one they bought. A lot of people will walk into Harbor Freight, they will buy the slime that Harbor Freight has there, take it home, use it. They don't realize that there are different variations and different formulations, so they could have grabbed the wrong product. The other thing is, on one of them that I was reading, where this guy had a decent crack, let's say, in the sidewall of one of the tires. I believe it was on a trailer or something, and he goes, the product's crap, it didn't work, on and on and on. Something like with a crack, I mean, I don't know how big of a hole that is. This product isn't like it's going to fix anything and everything. So my advice is a couple of things. I mean, the one out at Harbor Freight, just realize what that product's intended use is. And I think it's more or less for small punctures and, stuff like that. And like I said, I always change the valve stem totally if I have to. Now, the other thing is, on all of these, I flatten the tire and I take the little valve out of the valve stem and I go ahead and I squirt the product in there. Like I said, I think I used about 4 ounces on the other ones, and on the golf cart I probably used 6 to 8, somewhere in there. I didn't really measure it, but I take the actual little valve stem out of it, squirt the product in there, I spin it around by hand a bunch of times, then I put the little metal valve stem core back in there, and then I fill it with air. I do it for a reason. I don't want to gum that up, because if the stuff should set up, you're going to have a problem, filling the tire. So I do it that way. I've been successful doing it that way. The product does work, for me. The other thing I noticed, and I'll leave you links below, sometimes this is on sale and it is cheaper off Amazon. The black label I got off Amazon, it's still currently on sale. I bought that because it's good for, tires with tubes and without tubes both, rather than buying, either the red or the blue label. So that's what worked out, best for me. And like I said, I got it at a pretty good discount, but they also sell a gallon of this stuff. I didn't do that. I don't use it that often. I'm just, intermittent kind of use when I have a problem. I don't know what I would do with a whole gallon of it. Okay, any other questions? And some of these, came from the forum. I'll incorporate them together, but I've shown you the product line. I mean, the differences between, like I said, whether you're going to get the red label, the blue, the black, or the yellow. No real experience on the yellow. Okay, let's switch over to questions and answers. Would I ever use it on an automobile? I would tend to probably go to a gas station and have it repaired correctly if it's something that's going to go out on a highway or a freeway. That's what I feel. Other people can drop a comment below. Maybe they've had great success, using it, on their automobiles. I kind of steer away from it. That's just me personally. But as far as like hand trucks, golf carts, wheelbarrows, I mean, I don't know, things like that, yeah, sure. And like I said, the way I've used it and the way I've done it, it's been holding up for me, and I definitely buy it again. On the golf cart, how much air did I put back into the tires? Okay, like I said, I deflated it, squirted the stuff in there, put the little valve stem back into, the larger part of the valve stem, the rubber part, and then I filled it up. I mean, I filled it up to whatever the PSI was and spun the tire, waited a couple hours, spun the tire again, or drove it around or wheeled it around or whatever, and I just kind of kept moving it around, intermittently, and then let it sit overnight. I don't know if the stuff ever truly hardens inside of the tire, but like I said, it does patch, the smaller kind of leaks. Will the product also inflate the tire? No, you have to have another means to inflate the tire. All this is just slimy, goopy substance. And it's like I said, do I think it's a good investment? Yeah, I do, but it's not a perfect solution all the time. It just depends on, the size hole or what it is you're trying to seal. But for minor leaks and stuff like that, yeah, it's worked fine. So why did I decide to go this route on the golf club, tires? So what I did is I had 2 of them that had an incredibly slow leak. So I could have put tubes in them, I suppose. It's a more costly approach naturally, and I would have had to take them down to the gas station, paid them. And like I said, kind of a charitable kind of thing I'm doing. And I decided I'll go ahead and I'll try the slime, because I had good luck with it in the past on the wheelbarrow tires, and these leaks seem to probably be like thorn size or small leaks. So I went ahead and I put that in, the 2 tires that I was having a problem with, and I had bought several containers of the slime because it was inexpensive enough to where I also went ahead and put them in the 2 good tires. So that way all 4 tires had this product, slime, in it that I got. I got 1 bottle, like I said, from out at Harbor Freight, but the other bottles, the black ones, I had gotten off Amazon. So my mistake if I told you differently earlier. Harbor Freight doesn't sell the black label ones. Those I got off Amazon. I put them in all 4 golf cart tires as a preventative measure, as well as hopefully helping me seal the small tiny leaks, which It's now been over a month and they're holding pressure perfectly fine, and I haven't added any. Preventative measure, because I figured as long as I'm putting it into 2, I'm going to put it in all 4, because out at the ranch and the barn, they're running over all kinds of stuff, rocks, dirt, you got thorns that probably drop from trees, or whatever that's in these pathways. So I thought it was, like I said, a good preventative measure. That's the reason why I bought the extra in the black label and put it in all 4. Would I use the green label in these? No. And I'm glad that I understand now the differences between the different colors and their different uses. But the stuff that Harbor Freight sells, I mean, like I said, hand trucks, wheelbarrows, small things like that, it does work well as long as they're small leaks. I know I keep saying that, but I keep getting asked a variation of the same question. Okay folks, this was just a quick review on these products, and I showed you photographs of them. The links are below to Amazon, so I would tell you first figure out what you're going to put it in. Like I said, and you can either get the one out at Harbor Freight, or you can be more specific and buy the ones offline that are on Amazon. And like I said, I know the black label right now is currently on sale. It's a damn good price. I do have one extra container of it now. I have in my shop for any kind of future need. So I just decided to pick up that one extra, because of the cost savings, really. But those are my thoughts on all this. Anybody else got a different experience, drop it in the comment below. Otherwise, I'm the Home Handyman. I hope you click subscribe. I hope you keep following me. If you've used it, let me know what your experience is. Otherwise, check out the links below. They have the same table on there, and you can very quickly, easily figure out what you're going to need. Okay, folks, I'll see you on the next video. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.